Hi there, Release Fire here. So I'm going to talk you through how I managed to beat the chariot knight ghost thing that is Eligor in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Hopefully the video helps you out. If it does, drop me a like below. But I'm just going to take you through. I used the cess on it in the first time that I fought it, and it says when it is in the air, hit it with wind attacks. Now I tried this quite a lot when I fought it, but I didn't seem to be able to do some damage because he seems protected whenever it went into the air. However, you can try that for yourselves to see if it works out well for you, and then unleash a leaping attack to knock it down, and that definitely seemed to help quite a lot. You can also steal an object from it. So the bladed staff you can steal from Eligor, but I didn't manage it. It kind of didn't work out for me. I think you need to really spam steal to be able to get it. So I just kind of focused on finishing it off. And yeah, I did put in wind, but it didn't massively work, even though I had magic up in there. And then I focused on healing and other buffs that I could get. And then I gave Tifa ice material, which it's weak to, and I also put in refocus and cleansing and some other things, but mostly the ice is the one to focus on. And then I did a similar thing for Aerith to boost out the amount of people in my party that could do big damage to Eligor. And then in terms of the battle itself, it's kind of a tough one really, because the wheels are really impregnable, so you can't really attack them, so you have to attack front on and get in your hits there. But you can see that can be quite dangerous, so the other good place, and probably the best place to attack Eligor from, is at the rear. If you can kind of try to circle around and get in your hits there, that is your best opportunity. And then I used Aerith, who could attack him from afar. Now she's not very mobile, so you can't really get out of the way of his charges very well, but she is good to just be able to get in a few hits, try to get yourself in a decent position, and then use Blizzaro on it, which does a decent amount of damage. You can see there, not huge amounts, but just enough, especially with the second part of that. And then if you keep pressing on with that as a process, you should be able to stagger it, change on into Cloud, get into Punisher mode, and lay down as many sword attacks as you can, and that should get you through to the second phase, where it gets into the air, and where I kind of struggled to use wind on it, where it just seemed impervious the entire time. However, watching the video back, you can see actually it's got Reflect on, and it only has that on for a certain amount of time. So as soon as you see Reflect go, you can then start to use wind or give it a try yourself. Like I say, it didn't ever really work for me. I tended to focus most of my attacks on ice and using Blizzaro, and that was enough to bring it down and allow my guys to get in close to do a huge amount of damage. Now you can jump up there, you just need to press square once. Don't press and hold, just press it once or press repeatedly to do a bit of a combo when you get into the air, and do the same with Tifa. And you can do the same with Tifa, and that should be enough for you to be able to do a good amount of damage. You can see here, especially during that phase, you can really get in some shots. But you can see how much of a problem those wheels can be. Even though I was right in front of it, Tifa managed to run right into its wheels. So if you can, get yourself into a better position before you even go in for any attacks. So a good strategy is to roll behind Eligor before you even go in and strike him, because it looks like you can attack the horse, but you can't. You go after Eligor, and that means you end up hitting the wheels, which is a bit of a pain when you head in forwards. And then if you keep on focusing up your attacks, you should be able to stagger it for a second time, and then once again dish out as much damage as you can. However, if you're running low on magic as I was, then it's a good idea to drop yourself an ether. Give yourself an opportunity to get in a Blizzaro when it's down on the ground, because you can see that does a really nice amount of damage for the second one, and then it goes into the final phase. And here you'll have an opportunity to actually attack the wheels a little bit. You get the right wheel and the left wheel as target for your magic, so it's a good idea to try to take them out as much as you can, because it will help you out later on. However, the problem is it just keeps running around in circles and can do a lot of damage to your support characters. And then when it does stand still, it seems to be fairly impervious to specific attacks. So physical attacks don't seem to do a great deal of damage or effect when you're attacking Eligor. So the best thing to do is to focus on those wheels. And a good opportunity is to bring out Shiva, and she will start to do some nice damage on the wheels. You can see there she's working in the background to take out the wheels, and then switch on out to Aerith, using her to target the wheels once again with summon abilities, and that will allow you to keep on putting the pressure on during this tough final phase. However, anytime you see it wheeling towards you, you definitely want to skip out of the way, and it's the same with the shafts of light that come down from the sky. You just kind of want to spin her inwards to the center, and then again use summon abilities to be able to keep on doing damage to the wheels themselves. And then you'll also have Shiva's finishing move, which does a huge chunk of damage to Eligor. I think it's like 3,600. And then obviously use cures where you can to keep your party in the game. But if that becomes too much of a chore, I kind of ended up finishing off with just Aerith and ignoring everybody else, using dodges to avoid all of its attacks, which you can see I'm doing here quite nicely. So just try to look out for the kind of attacks that it's doing, and then just keep on chipping away at that left wheel, or whichever wheel you've got left. And it did kind of take a long time with this strategy, but it did eventually get the job done. Yeah, I took damage every now and again, but if I just kept away, used my dodges, and kept on hitting away at that wheel, I eventually brought him down to stagger, and then it was just a case of using Lazaro to be able to finish it off, and that was how I managed to beat Eligor here in Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was a bit ugly, but it got the job done in the end. Hopefully the video helps you out and gives you some tips too. If it does, drop me a like below. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, with the links on the left hand side, and check out the rest of my guide for Final Fantasy VII Remake with the links on the right hand side. Leave any comments below, let me know how you get on against Eligor, and I will catch you next time.